In the NFL, the Browns have selected their starting signal caller. Deshaun Watson gets the nod after the Browns' second preseason game, beating out second-year quarterback Shedeur Sanders. Watson went 5 for 12 for 35 yards and a pick in that outing, but Coach Todd Monken said the assessments went beyond that.
Took in the full body of work over the course of off-season to training camp to the games, the joint practice, and ultimately felt like to start the season on the road, Deshaun gave us the best chance to move the ball and score points. I mean, that's really what it's about. And felt that way going in the last game, but wasn't sure. And after we talked as a staff and after we re-looked at everything, we're going to go that direction.
Watson was named the starter, but neither signal caller has exactly shown out so far this preseason. Watson has slightly more yards, while Shedeur has the edge in completion percentage. Both quarterbacks also have a negative touchdown to interception ratio.
This is a big step in the right direction for the Falcons and Michael Penix. Penix has been cleared for 11-on-11 drills. Remember, he tore his ACL week 11 of last season. But if you think his return means Kevin Stefanski is going to shed any light at all on who will actually be QB1 come the regular season, I need you to think again.
Listen, competition is near and dear to all of our hearts, and whether you're, whatever the depth chart looks like, whatever that Matt puts out, you're competing every single day. We do compete periods in practice. You're competing against yourself. That alarm clock goes off, and you're in a competition. Everything we do around this building is competing. So I know it's easy to say position battles and those type of things, but we're constantly competing, and that's not the focus for our guys. Our guys are pushing each other by showing up and putting in the work.
Meanwhile, Trevor's over here being like, I hope you compete in the actual season. Here is your reminder. It is either Penix or Tua for the Falcons. Last season, while with the Dolphins, Tua was more accurate than Penix. But Penix, while with the Falcons, was more efficient. Now, in terms of games missed, Tua has missed 9 in the last 2 seasons. Penix, 8 last year, including the final 7 with that ACL toe.
From the NFL to collegiate ball, not a segue, just stating what Dae'Quan Wright is getting ready to do. The former Ole Miss tight end will join the Bayou Bengals for the 2026 season after a Louisiana court ruling allowed for 16 players to get a 5th year of college eligibility. His head coach, Lane Kiffin, was asked a black and white question and answered somewhere in the gray area.
I think that situations are different. So, in general, should NFL players come back to college? I believe, and it doesn't matter necessarily what I believe, that answer would be no. I think every circumstance should be looked at differently. This is a very unique circumstance.
The counter is running up. Over 1 million teams already drafted on Monday when it comes to these fantasy football squads, as we keep it rolling with the marathon here on ESPN.
Is your fantasy football draft date set yet? Mine is always last minute, as late as you can possibly go, which means I get the chance to sit back and listen to all the experts I work with who say I should go for guys like Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson and Jamar Chase, and maybe skip over the guy who actually got me to championship weekend a year ago. Same guy who was last year's top PPR scorer, the one and only Christian McCaffrey. CMC. It is Daniel Dopp who says that, by the way. It was your list.
That's
now,
true.
The weird thing about all of this is, and I get why it's easy to be down on Christian McCaffrey.
Sure.
But you're either so high on him or not at all. Why are you out on McCaffrey?
I'm out because of the touches from last year and the fact that he's turning 30. I was so in on last year. Listen, a lot of people were worried coming back from injury.
Yep.
I loved him. And anybody that invested in him last year in fantasy football, it paid off in spades. The difference is, it's not last year. Now it's 2026. It's just a different year. He had over 450 touches last season. That is the most of his career. He is 30 years old, so he's now as old as he's ever been, coming off the most touches that he's ever been.
Mike McDaniel.
We know the history that we're talking about, right?
As old as he's ever been.
This is one of those things where I love CMC. I'm not saying that he can't be a unicorn, but in the first round of a draft, I think that I can pass on CMC and still get a superstar that I think has a safer floor based on the history that you have seen from running backs that just have heavy touch seasons the year before.
Yeah, and the age of 30 cannot be looked over when it comes to the running back.
Hate to say that 30 is old. I never like saying that. It makes me feel old every time I say it.
But there is history that makes you want to say that.
Absolutely, that's why.
It's data-based as far as that sort of assessment goes.
Correct.
Now, obviously, you got your top dogs that you will go for immediately. CMC, whether or not you choose to go that route is one thing. But later in the draft, 3 guys that we might be able to snag depending on why they fell. I don't care, but who would you go for?
Some mid-round values, some sleepers. I'm going to start at the tight end spot because George Kittle has been unbelievable in fantasy football. Right now, he's coming off the board in the 10th round, coming back from that injury, and that's been the concern. Is he going to be ready to start the season? I don't care if he's ready to start the season. Draft another tight end. Yeah, let him play a week or two.
And then when he's available,
George Kittle is good to go. Justin Herbert, another one of those guys. Now in this McDaniel offense, think about all the things that Mike McDaniel has been able to do with a non-mobile quarterback like Tua, and now you got all of these weapons in LA to be able to play with. I love Justin Herbert, and he is much farther down the quarterback list than many of these guys. And Michael Pittman Jr. is not a sexy name, but 4 of the last 5 years, he has been a top 20 wide receiver. This year now, he's got Aaron Rodgers throwing him the football. You know the thing about Aaron Rodgers, he can't throw the football very far downfield. Career low, 5.8 air yards per attempt. There is no more Kenny Gainwell in that offense. That was Aaron Rodgers' dump-off specialist. That's going to be Michael Pittman now this season. Love him
because that
as
man
a
is
value.
actually old now.
He is. Yeah, actually, that one is
that man is old now.
Definitely qualifies. ESPN Fantasy Football, now the official game of the NFL. Download the ESPN Fantasy app or sign up now at ESPN.com/fantasy. Daniel Dopp, always a pleasure, bro.
Thanks, guys.
Let's get back. And I would also find that very stressful. Ms. Loza joins us now. I just want to be there for the whole time. So as we get set to compile our teams, obviously we've been paying attention to the preseason. Has there been anyone for you that's sort of climbing their way up your list as the preseason comes to an end?
Well, Deshaun Stribling immediately comes to mind. He has taken off like a rocket, both through the draft process and over the preseason. He first stunned at the combine when he clocked a 4.36 40-yard dash time. He surprised again when the 49ers selected him 33rd overall. Since then, the Flying Hawaiian, as Mac Jones has decided to nickname him, has wowed with Ricky Pearsall out for the season. He could emerge as the team's target leader. Juwan Johnson here. Also, he was second in team targets behind Chris Olave, clearing 100 targets last season. We thought that number would go down with Jordan Tyson added to the team, but now Tyson's out with 2 months with a hamstring issue, which puts Johnson back on top. Johnson, by the way, averaged, he was the tight end 11 in fantasy points per game last season. He's an awesome pick for people who like to wait at the position.
Okay, so when it comes to, when we get into those mid rounds, it feels like where you got to make your money, especially after the big names are gone off the board. Who do you believe has some good mid-round value?
I like David Montgomery. He is not flashy, but he is reliable. He's coming off a down season in terms of volume and production, but I expect a bounce back now that he is the Texans' RB1. He'll share the backfield with Woody Johnson, who did flash a little bit as a rookie, but Monty is the one who is going to average 15 to 17 touches per game. He's my RB21 and the 23rd running back coming off boards. I also like Carnell Tate, perhaps the most pro-rookie receiver in this year's class. The Titans need that polish. They haven't had an alpha on the field since A.J. Brown pieced out after 2021. Now, Cam Ward has struggled a little bit, but I think Tate could produce because of the sheer volume. He's going to clear 100 looks. Drag Ward into production. I think he could sneak into the top 24 producers at the position by the end of the season.
Yeah, Titans didn't have a receiver crack 600 yards last year, so Tate likely to help Cam Ward be a little less ass, as he said it last season.
I don't know.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. In the land of baseball.
The time has come. The time to draw down, pick your squad, and stick to your guns, because week 0 of the CFB season is here. And to get you right before things get rolling, we've got the good, the bad, and the smugly headlines. I am no Clint Eastwood, but the lattermost will make itself clear when you hear it. First up, 2 starters named for 2 programs hoping for dang good results. Florida opted for the transfer portal ad. Aaron Philo joins from Georgia Tech, and his old coordinators there too. Tennessee is rolling with the freshman they just signed in Faison Brandon, ESPN number 14 overall prospect in the 2026 cycle. There's bad and then there's down bad, and one might think the University of Mississippi was when the executive director of their NIL collective said the feds did a sweep of the football facilities after Lane Kiffin left. Turns out they just had a plug at the FBI who made sure there weren't any recording devices left by the former coach. Now, Smugly is basically Lane Kiffin's approach to the whole temporary pipeline he and other coaches have to NFL players that got cut and now find themselves with an extra year of eligibility via a court ruling. And his approach is fairly simple.
Through them winning their injunction and entry into the portal, they're available to recruit. And so ourselves, like many places around the country, are recruiting them. And at the end of the day, you know, because of these rulings, they're either going to play for you or they're going to play somewhere else around the country. So we've made a decision to recruit them, like probably most people are.
It's a good thing that Sam Macho does both college and pro football breakdowns for us at ESPN, because that's the abyss that we find ourselves in. We've essentially had Lane say, why not us, when it comes to recruiting players like Dae'Quan Wright, Sam, and that got his chance at a little bit of extra eligibility, if you will. So how indicative of this situation of a larger problem here for college football is that?
Oh, it's not a larger problem. Dae'Quan Wright graduated in high school, class of 22. He played 4 years in college. There's many college players right now that are going on year 6, year 7, some even in year 8. Now, there's this new rule that allows college players 5 years to play their college seasons. But for whatever reason, Dae'Quan Wright and some other members of the class of 2022 were excluded. Now, obviously, Dae'Quan Wright has had an opportunity to try out for the NFL. He has not made an NFL team. And as a matter of fact, in the next 6 days, about 1,100 players are going to get cut. Their football dreams will be over. And so I think it's a wise decision for Dae'Quan Wright to be able to go back to college. And I don't think it's a bigger problem. It's not like there's 5 and 6 year NFL veterans are going to have this opportunity. It's a select few players who were in college last year who are getting a chance to go back and have that 5th year.
It is, in fact, just a legal sort of temporary restraining order that allows them that chance. And so why not take advantage, quite frankly? Now, week 0, to keep it in between the lines at this point, almost here. What are you most looking forward to, Sacho?
I'm excited to see USC's new look defense under defensive coordinator Gary Patterson. USC, the talent is obviously there, but Gary Patterson is for 5 years, he had the #1 defense in all of college football. He's a 2-time coach of the year. Even in 2021, when he was a special assistant to Texas, he helped their defense improve from giving up 31 points to 21 points, helped them improve to being in the top 20 when it came to yards allowed. Actually, it was a 2021 to 2022 season. So the point is this: USC's defense has struggled. Now they have a person who can help make it better. So I want to see them play San Jose State and see how much better they've improved.
One thing you can guarantee about Gary Patterson when he's on that sideline is that he is going to have a wardrobe change, because he's sweating through that first shirt, whichever one he wore. Sam Macho, we appreciate you, sir.
Completely off topic, but also on topic. So this happened.
Today was cool because it's the youngest that I'll ever be the rest of my life. Think about that.
So, Mike, what do you feel like?
I can't even rattle you. You're still locked right now?
I just appreciate the fact that man, while still not a head coach, gets enough mic time that we can still marvel at the stuff that just comes out of his mouth.
Dude, there's a lot of existentialism going on in the NFL right now. Joe Burrow was having mortality thoughts and everything. It's just getting really weird. I can't wait for the season.
When has that guy not been weird?
Well, different question.
When it comes to drafting quarterbacks, the first word that comes to mind is value. With 14 QBs cracking my top 100 rankings, there's little need to rush into taking one. My top-ranked QB is Bills superstar Josh Allen, the leader at the position in points scored in 4 of the last 6 seasons.
It's a keeper for Allen. 10, 5, touchdown! The beast has been released!
However, at 28th overall, my top 100, he'll only end up on my team if he lingers until the 3rd to 4th round turn. That has nothing to do with Allen and everything to do with the values available further down the board. Intriguing mid to late round options include the likes of Trevor Lawrence, who was unleashed in the second half of 2025 and totaled 9 rushing touchdowns, and Justin Herbert, whose fantasy ceiling increased when the Chargers hired Mike McDaniel as their new play caller.
There's a lot that we can be capable of here with him leading the charge.
Heck, even Matthew Stafford, the 2nd highest scoring quarterback in fantasy last season, will still be available later than you realize. When it comes to QBs, options and value abound.
the word of one Field Yates is gospel. Can attest to that. Close to 1.1 million drafted teams out there on the ESPN Fantasy Football app. Make sure you get involved with it. Coming up here, actually, the ESPN Fantasy Football, now the official fantasy game of the NFL and new this season. And knockout leagues where each week the lowest scoring team is eliminated until only one is left standing. It's one built for me because I'm out in week one. It's fine. Download